Big tornado northwest of Miami, Oklahoma.
Passenger pickup. But it's that one.
Wednesday, May 22nd wasn't even supposed to be a chase day. That's us jumping back into Colin's Ford Escape on the right. This was day 3 of our week-long excursion to Tornado Alley, and day 3 was expected all along to be a down day. We'd already seen a pair of haze-obscured weak tornadoes on a high-risk day in the panhandle of Texas, and been burned by the flooded roads of Kansas.
I don't know what to do, man.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is coming up behind it, back on that road that wasn't that far.
But that might be flooded up.
But on the evening of the 21st, before we feasted and quenched our thirsts in a Wichita brewery, we'd run into a local sports store and bought a wiffle ball and bat because there were to be no storms on May 22nd. The forecast in the days leading up showed a volatile environment, but one without a source of lift or a trigger to get thunderstorms to develop. An environment that's favorable for tornadoes means nothing if there's no storm to tap into it. Now, the afternoon of the 21st, one model, the high-resolution rapid refresh, or the HRR, began to show thunderstorms erupting right in this primed environment from eastern Oklahoma into Missouri. With time, the other models followed suit. While we sipped on a few local brews and watched the Cubs game in that Wichita brewery, the vibe for Wednesday began to shift from wiffle ball to supercells as the evening suite of weather models began to trickle in. We'd be sleeping there in Wichita that night, which meant we'd wake up very close to the target region for severe storms the next day. Morning came early on the 22nd, as I ventured down to the breakfast bar of the Comfort Inn, hoping to score an early cup of coffee while I got in my local weather forecast for my hometown of Champaign-Urbana, and produced a few planting progress maps from my work as an agricultural meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. The TV was set to the Weather Channel as they hyped the volatile environment that would lay across the area later that evening. Colin joined me downstairs, and we eventually went to wake Alex as checkout time approached. Waking up in the target area brings the beauty of not having to set the alarms for the dark of dawn to hit the road. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, you savor it. Before we hit the road, I made an update from the hotel parking lot.
Good morning, everyone, from Wichita, Kansas. Today is an interesting day. If you would have asked me a couple days ago when we were on our way out here, today was going to be a down day where we'd probably just find somewhere to throw a baseball around and maybe get together with our other storm-chasing friends who are in the area. But over the last couple of days, things have taken an interesting trend to where now, instead of, there's always been a volatile environment, an environment favorable for supercell thunderstorms and tornadoes in place, but there's been no focus or no trigger to make a thunderstorm develop. I posted a little bit about this yesterday evening, but the ingredients you need for a tornado, you need the thunderstorm, so you need the instability, the wind shear, and then the moisture for that thunderstorm, but then the final ingredient is a trigger. You need something to make the air rise, and over the last couple of days, there's been none of that. But starting, yesterday, a little bit more, maybe the night before, but then especially this evening, now the weather models, they are breaking out thunderstorms from southeast Kansas down into northern, central, and southern Oklahoma. And those thunderstorms, if they do develop and they're able to sustain themselves, would have the potential to produce tornadoes. May 22nd also happens to be a very lucky day for me. I've seen a lot of tornadoes on May 22nd, so we got that juju going for us. But there's a couple issues. The southeast Kansas target, which is where we are now, essentially, so it's an easy target, has the best chance for a thunderstorm to develop today. The problem with it, though, the boundary that those thunderstorms would initiate on is parallel to the shear vector today, which is a lot of kind of technical words, or maybe at least a couple. But what it means is the storms would have a tendency to kind of rapidly grow together into a line. And as you've heard me talk about, having multiple storms growing together or interacting together is a bad thing. If you want a tornado, it's a very delicate process. You need that thunderstorm to be alone and be able to do its thing without being interfered with. As we head south into southern Oklahoma, that is where that situation would present itself, where the odds of storm coverage are much lower. So maybe you get one storm and it's able to do its own thing and produce a tornado. So maybe your odds are a little bit better if you get a thunderstorm to develop that it produces a tornado, but your odds of that thunderstorm developing are not quite so high. That target's also maybe a 4 or 5 hour drive from us. So you're taking kind of a leap of faith if you go for the southern Oklahoma target that you really think a thunderstorm is going to develop there. Or you could take your chance here in southeast Kansas, stay put, say I like our chances of getting a thunderstorm, and I like the odds that at least that thunderstorm can be by itself for maybe an hour or two, long enough to produce a tornado. So we got some thinking to do. At least we can take our time for a little bit, have some breakfast, drink some more coffee, and then we'll make a decision here mid to late morning on whether we're going to stay put here in southeast Kansas and hope we get a storm that can be alone for a couple of hours, or if we think that's not going to be possible, or if we really decide that southern Oklahoma is going to produce a thunderstorm today, then we can head off that way and get set up. One last thing to consider, much of northeastern Oklahoma completely flooded. The roads are underwater, maybe washed away. We ran into some issues with this even yesterday in parts of northern Kansas where the back roads here, it's not like in central Illinois where our farm roads are paved. If you drive around out in the country in Champaign County, the roads are paved. Here, they're mud. So if you get rain on that, forget about it. Your car will get stuck. And so the northeastern Oklahoma target on Monday night, I posted about the thunderstorms going throughout the night. They got upwards of 5 to 6 inches of rain. And so a lot of the roads, not even just wet, they're completely underwater. So if a storm forms there and that's the storm of the day, there's literally nothing we can do about it. There's just no chance we would try something like that because it's going to be a lot of frustration. So takes me back. That covers kind of the positives and negatives here. If you had to ask me right now, I kind of like the southeastern Kansas target. I kind of think there could be a supercell that goes up here and tracks into maybe western Missouri as the evening goes on. Unfortunately, this is kind of a sad anniversary in that area. It's the anniversary of the Joplin, Missouri tornado, which was a massive EF5 tornado, if you haven't heard of that, May 22nd of 2011. So if we can keep thunderstorms out of that area, maybe that would be a little less disturbing for the residents there. But I think that I may lean towards the southeastern Kansas target right now. But that could easily flip over the next hour or two once I start diving into things. So look for an update around lunchtime. We'll let you know where we're headed.
As we gassed up on the edge of Wichita, Colin and I were both seduced into the best gas station burritos we've ever had. It may be sacrilegious to say that in the land of Alsop's burritos, but these things weren't lacking in size or flavor. With a target of Parsons, Kansas, we made our way down Highway 400. After the region had been soaked with 5 to 10 inches of rain over the last 48 hours, many rivers had spilled their banks, flooding farm fields and roadways. Before the first storm of the day had even developed, we had our first navigational issue. Many major highways in the target area were literally closed and blocked off due to flooding. It very well may be that the best storm of the day is inaccessible if it passes through one of these especially hard-hit areas.
That was about 500 feet in real life.
Yeah.
Watch out for the curve on this guy.
No.
Just about.
Yeah, basically roughly even with the garden hose thing.
The ground's a little squishy right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I'm in Sperry's and I'm gonna have to change before we actually start chasing.
Putting the shift on this lefty, he's a pull hitter. Wow!
Again, I need a glove.
As we made our way to Parsons, we picked out a truck stop on the edge of town and sent out a call to other storm chasers in the area that we'd be there holding down the fort and indeed playing some wiffle ball while we waited for the storms to develop. Blake was the first to arrive, but Professor Jeff Frame and his students from the University of Illinois soon joined us. Other chasers came and went from the spot as the afternoon drew on.
You send him our location? No, did you?
Oh, yeah. I told him we were at the Stockyard Travel Plaza, so we were heading our way.
How do you feel about today?
It's a weird feeling because I wasn't planning on even chasing today really 48 hours ago, so I'm cautiously optimistic. And I was just telling Alex that the paranoid feeling I'm battling is just that the storm of the day will form just on the other side of the Oklahoma border where, you know, all the roads are flooded and we won't be able to get to it. So I'm optimistic about, you know, a supercell and a tornado-producing supercell, but I've got concerns about where it forms.
Right. As we all do.
Yeah. Like backing a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not very strong. But that stuff's like right here. So for a half a second I thought it was splitting and that side was gonna turn right into the warm sector, but now it looks weird again. I had a look for a second. And we got development way down there. So like the sweet spot would be here where it's been percolating. But there's nothing happening right now, so that's fine. Should still be fine.
But
Check the new measurement.
do not lose track of that thing.
All right, it's 2:30 p.m. We're in Parsons, Kansas, just kind of hanging out. I'm babysitting the radar and the satellite picture and the surface map and just looking for any sign of our first storm going. You know, we stuck with the southeast Kansas target because it looked like it had the best chance for the highest coverage of storms, thinking that southern Oklahoma might be a cap bust, meaning that no storms form. And wouldn't you know it, at 2:30, there's one severe thunderstorm warning in this whole area, and it's in southern Oklahoma where the first storm of the day has gone. So Mother Nature is slapping us a little bit here with some kind of dumb luck, but hopefully it'll turn around for us. We have another huge convergence going on of storm chasers. If I show you what's going on behind me, we've got a big group of folks. We've got the University of Illinois, one of our good friends, Professor Jeff Frame at the University of Illinois Atmospheric Sciences Department. He leads a group of students every spring on a storm chasing trip, and so we've coordinated or met up with them at the very least here. Again, one of our very good friends, Blake Naftel from Kalamazoo, Michigan. We met with him as well. Some of our friends from DC and North Dakota. So it's a party here at the Stockyard Travel Plaza in Parsons, Kansas, and hopefully we'll have another update here in the next hour or two. That was Blake here with his big camera behind me. It's a good looking sky. So I'm hopeful that we'll get a storm here in the next 2 hours.
To be completely honest, I did not feel well at all this afternoon. Perhaps a combination of different dietary and sleep regimen on the plains was responsible, but I was groggy, my body and my head hurt, and I just wanted to know if we'd get a storm or not. Some days it's easier than others to just let the weather do its thing while you wait, but this one was owning me in that parking lot. There were multiple areas that had the potential to trigger the storm of the day, but no area seemed to want to show greater signs of life than the others. This sort of day throws me into forecasting paralysis, where it's clear to me that no amount of staring into and through my screen of weather data is going to make things any clearer, and to just trust the target area and give my eyes a rest, but I want nothing to do with it. Only between trips for new bottles of water and Gatorade and travel packs of ibuprofen did I give it a rest.
East-northeast right here now, which is probably one of those towers. It's just off to 20 miles off to the east, or the west-northwest.
And the storms down near southwest of Tulsa are already having confirmed tornadoes on them.
Yep. So the environment's there. We just need a storm up here, which may be
That
happening.
one right there to
Northwest of Stillwater is potentially
the west.
will be catchable if we need to go back that way. I'm not saying we do, I'm saying that is an option.
winds are backing in that area too.
Yeah. Where are we?
That would put us right around here.
I would get potentially east and northeast. It's a hard call because nothing's really going up, but when it does, it's going to go quick.
I know. Yeah, I kind of was hoping to see it evaporate just for my own sanity.
For my own sanity, I hoped that that developing storm off to our south would just evaporate and go away, but it became increasingly clear that decision time was now. We needed to make our move off to the south or we were going to end up with nothing for the day. So we plotted our route in a way that would get us around the flooded roads and in front of that storm off to our south, heading towards the town of Miami, Oklahoma.
Continue on US 59 south for 11 miles.
It's trending up too. Decent connection back here still.
Yep.
So we pulled off on the side of Highway 59. We actually met with the local director of the Emergency Management Agency in Cherokee County, Kansas. We were able to talk about the day with them. They also were surprised by the sudden increased risk for severe storms in the area. Now, initially, that north storm did have our attention, but over time it became increasingly clear that that southern storm, that mass of convection, was going to congeal into what would likely be the storm of the day, and we would need to plot a course where we could safely intercept while getting around the flooded roads in northeast
Storm
Oklahoma.
chasers. I seen your antenna on your car. And
That's my ham antenna, yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Jason, I think we're gonna move north. And then east. Yeah, my pleasure. Jack, Colin.
Blake Naftel's about to run up over my right shoulder. We're initially excited about this northern storm, but that doesn't last long.
Yeah, we're gonna go north and east, Blake.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
I know. I thought this was going to be a slow day.
Jump in because we need to move.
Yeah, Blake's pretty urgent.
I would agree.
I'll get this shit right.
See you guys. Good talking to you.
Good luck. I don't know what you say to an emergency manager.
Yeah, sure it is.
Okay.
Good luck on your county not getting smoked.
Yeah.
That fell in the car, right?
We're traveling down Highway 166 eastbound out of Chautauqua, Kansas right now, passing what should be a recreational park area, and then later some cornfields. But there are folks literally fishing in the park there and fishing in the cornfield because the Neosho River has completely spilled out of its banks, just giving a preview of what's to come in the terrain that we're about to be storm chasing in.
Yeah, but I mean, just letting know that probably want to make a lot of stand on it. It's about all we can reasonably feel like we can do. We'll try. I mean, I'm not saying we give up. I'm just saying that we don't want
got some flooded out roads here as expected. Not too bad. Some tree damage. Probably from another tornado.
Making our approach now from the east on the flooded, bumpy, ragged dirt roads of northeastern Oklahoma. Cringing as we approach each dark spot in the road, hoping that it's not completely washed away, but instead just a rough patch. Intense lightning began to ramp up as we approached the storm, a sign that our storm continues to intensify.
Wow, that was so close. Right here on this curve.
Yeah, hopefully there's the view. Per radar, anything would be straight up the road.
That would be visually how I would say it too.
We'll have a good view. Or right there, I mean, we already kind of do. Yeah. Enjoy. You don't have to go any further than this little hill if you don't want to.
Sitting in the notch of an HP supercell or a high precipitation supercell is about as intense as it gets for a storm chaser. We're surrounded by all sorts of precipitation, we have a narrow viewing area of the action area, and again, we're watching our clock tick down before we need to blast back to the east to get back towards Miami before this storm overtakes and potentially traps us by flooding the roads.
Got northerlies here. Yeah, makes sense. No, I've got like a 2-minute leash on this spot right now.
Well, your RFD is surging.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what's coming at us.
Yeah.
So we can watch that visually for a second and then just...
What I'm nervous about is it's a wet RFD. Getting back on that road to get south again.
Yeah, that's fair. So maybe it's like a 1 minute.
Shall we?
Yeah. We don't love this spot just because getting back,
Yeah.
if this wet RFD takes it over, who knows what that road turns to.
I think there was a tornado when we were approaching.
Yeah,
Probably.
judging by radar,
Definitely
yeah.
saw, you know, a
Okay,
kind of a suspicious region as we were approaching for the left. But are
okay.
you going to backtrack?
We're gonna
The
backtrack,
only
yeah.
shot we have.
Okay.
It sucks, but gotta do it. Yeah, I mean, Alex, just stare behind us because it may do it.
Before that, what?
Just the tail cloud feeding into that now. I don't see a tornado, but it's just structurally.
It's ramped up.
Oh my goodness.
Second.
It's like doing things that happen before big
When it
tornadoes.
just happened. Yeah.
less worried about the RFB. We're getting a little distance, and it's doesn't look quite as much oomph right here. I think you flying is doing us a lot of good.
Nuts.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think the area of interest is just to my left, like
It's probably just over the road or just like
Just
over my
over the
left
right or
shoulder.
just right of the road.
Yeah, right as you're looking at it backwards. Not right as we're facing forwards, correct?
Yeah. 1.25 miles.
We're almost back to those dirt roads that we took out of Miami that we're going to have to take back toward Miami right now. And again, the storm is still off behind us, and it looks like we will be able to travel over these roads and potentially navigate back in front of this storm, maybe getting one more view of
Do
it.
this and get back on it.
Again, at each point during this chase, when we saw the storm, we thought it was going to be our only or last view of the storm. Each time we thought there's no way we're going to be able to keep up with this thing, but we'll get one more shot. So we'll take one more look. And here's another view of the base of the storm as we begin to ramp up.
Quick look.
Our next navigational issue was going to be getting back through the town of Miami, Oklahoma, with a population of 13,000. That's no small task, and again, hoping that we do so before it produces the tornado. The weird thing about your biggest and most memorable storm chasing days is that they start off just like any other. It's just any other normal chase day until suddenly it's not.
Tornado. Left.
Yep, big.
yeah.
Big.
No,
You want me to stop?
No, I was going to ask you to put your window down just so I could shoot it without the reflections.
Okay, we're gonna go through town. Yep. I'll report it.
There's a large tornado just to the southwest here.
Motion there is still good on that inflow.
Should have a view
I was
after.
gonna say, we just need to get a view. Maybe right around here.
Yeah. This might be the view. Window down for a sec. Thank you. It's in there. Big tornado.
Yes, we know. Oh yeah. Big old barrel.
Big one. All right, just stop here for a minute. I'll get out in the rain.
Multi-vortex.
Big tornado northwest of Miami, Oklahoma.
Huge tornado. Huge tornado. Gotta get east.
Go, what? All right. Yeah, I got it.
Alex, I'm putting your window up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You all right? Motion is strong. Too.
Yep. It's a big cylinder.
Ain't on me down at the moment.
Oh, it's down.
Is it?
Oh, it's just getting partially obscured. It's gonna go for a while.
Is this Tulsa?
It's a symmetrical, just cylinder. I'm almost sure of it.
Jesus.
That was right over there. Maybe it's not down.
No, it's not at the moment. We've got a big clearing right up here.
Yep.
It'll go right to our north. I think the RFD won for right now. There's still motion in there. There's a funnel maybe off the back, right in there, like a little small cut.
Maybe, yeah.
See that little lowered area? But I think the RFD is maybe chewed that circulation up now. No, I'm sorry.
Some scud fingers over there, maybe.
Yeah, that's the area that I was looking at and talking about. Good God.
Chaos here.
I agree with you.
Yeah. That is warm inflow. Feel that. That is hot.
It's gonna go again.
Tornadoes and supercell thunderstorms thrive on that warm, humid air. And so sometimes you'll feel the inflow blowing into a storm when it's cold, and that'll get your hopes down. But we just caught a very hot wind gust blowing into this storm. And that again makes us think that this storm is not done, and there may be more tornadoes in our future if we can keep up with the storm.
I'm going south. Why am I going south?
No, that's not what we're meant to do.
No. How did that even happen? Like, I am completely turned around. What the fuck? That's a bad mistake on my part. My bad.
No, you're
Oh,
right.
they're all called 69. 69, 69, 69.
Yep.
Nice, 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 nice.
It's the nicest tornado.
It's the nicest intersection in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That is stupid. Who thought of that? I'm mad.
Okay.
We're not going to gain any ground on it now. Okay, the area is right there to our, basically in front of us, just to our right. Keep an extra eye on this map because we can't afford to let that happen again.
Will do. Let me see. Could be like, let us go. You know what's up. trying to get out of the way.
How we doing?
We were advised by the police department to shut down traffic coming through here. They had a tornado go through.
Yeah, we're chaser spotters.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys, I guess.
I mean, are you okay with us going?
We were advised by PD to shut. Not letting.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we won't push it. I mean, we're not trying to make
Well,
trouble.
no
or
biggie.
anything.
I know PD shutting it up the road either.
Yeah,
anyway,
so it's probably not going to be much.
Yeah, you ain't gonna
What
make
if
it
we,
much farther,
How far up the road do you know that they're going to?
ain't got a clue other than it's north of town.
Understood.
Oh, we got.
You're good.
Well, I was
Looks
meant
like
more
a
about when they're going to
patrol
shut it
officer's
off.
coming through here now, so hold on.
Yeah, thank you.
Look at Colin's gears turning right now. He's about to throw the Hail Mary.
No, actually, we called in the report to the Weather Service when it was west of Congress.
Was it on the ground?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
big.
It's still on the ground?
We
You
lost
know what
it,
we
but-
you know what we know now. I mean, we
just
without
everybody's
having a-
flying by here, emergent and everything, and we've been monitoring the radar in here. So,
yeah. I mean, I can give you a quick.
Hey, is it not possible to get north?
And let them know that we did report this tornado, so while we're out there chasing these storms, we are doing our best to make sure that emergency managers like them and elsewhere are aware of what these storms are doing, hoping that it'll maybe get us moving again towards this
All
storm.
right. Well.
I mean, you guys can go at your will, but I believe PD shut.
Yeah. No. I mean, we're not obviously going to try and
We're just kind of.
best option.
Was it?
Hey, just be advised, county's advised on another one down on Star Road at this time.
First Star Road's in Kansas. First mile in Kansas.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. That would be.
First mile east and west in Kansas. Well, I mean, if you guys are chasers and you know what you're doing, I ain't gonna advise you to.
No, we absolutely know what we're
Go right
doing,
up here and
but
hang a left and go in front of the school. Go down the 69 highway. Go right. Go all the
Okay.
way down into Kansas. Go another right. Take you right into Baxter.
okay.
Yeah, hey, right here it'll be First Street.
First
If you'll
Street?
take that, it's 2 miles to the west, and that's 69 highway.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it much. Thanks for doing what you're doing.
Yep.
So this one here, this left.
First Street, he said.
This is
Now, whether it was Colin's Hail Mary that did the trick, I'll never really know, but these guys flipped their script. They eventually let us know how we could get around that barricade and continue following the storm off to the northeast into southeast Kansas. I was just happy to be moving again.
Are you considering dropping south to the next one?
There is a next one?
There's one, well, to the south, but
No. No, this is still good.
I know that.
We're going to go north here and then try and get around that roadblock. I just thought they'd have it blocked up here.
Okay.
Zoom out. How far south? That Tulsa one?
It's all
Yeah.
the way
Oh, hell no. Hell
down
no.
by the radar sign.
Yeah. We would get that tonight.
After dark.
Look at over here. We just need to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like right on it still.
Could be like a new area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, this thing is all by itself now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got great air.
Paved road.
Water.
Sorry, guys.
No problem. Is that coming back on the back side, or is it just maybe?
No.
You're fine. I'll watch it.
Yeah, this is looking good.
Wow. Yeah, it's imminent. I see him. That is an imminent look.
All right, can I get your window down here?
Absolutely.
Now that quote from the movie Twister is actually a little bit true. Once you get on the road, there's not many spots to stop and pee. And all that Gatorade and water that I drank back at the Stockyard Travel Plaza is finally starting to catch up to me.
Jason's back in Cherokee. Good motion.
Mike in him. view? No. Oh, this block.
East options.
Yep.
This road will take us right into Joplin.
Yeah.
Right back here.
Yep.
Blade come through it.
They just issued a new warning on it.
As well they should.
Includes Joplin.
Yeah. Not cool.
You're gonna get a view of the river valley, actually.
You're right. Flooded river valley.
As we come out of Baxter Springs, Kansas, we're once again getting a view of another flooded river valley and a reminder of the adverse conditions surrounding us.
Oh yeah, there is a funnel. Okay.
Right on the front edge of
Yep.
Can I get your window for 1 sec? Just talking.
Wouldn't surprise me if it's down, but
Yeah.
it's not really convinced.
Traveling down Highway 66 right now, crossing the border from Kansas into Missouri, getting increasingly close to the city of Joplin.
I'm not so sure it's not down up there.
I'm working on you, bud. I can't pull all the way over.
I think that's a tornado. Look at that.
the
That's
motion's
the left
too
side.
good.
Look at the left side. It's crossing the road right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's big.
Yep.
Oh no. Go around.
Another LEO coming.
Okay. We're gonna get a view. I mean, if we can keep going north.
Do you want to keep going north if they'll
Yep.
let it?
Yep. I just want to see it. It's right
I've got
there.
I've got a right turn coming.
Okay, take the right.
If they'll let us.
Oh, it's huge.
Going around him.
Yep. You're good. What is in there?
Now, I asked what's going on in there because we don't have a great view of the horizon with the trees and the rolling hills of southwest Missouri. But Colin pulls up a radar image and confirms that whether it's that entire thing or not, there is a large tornado, a large strong tornado ongoing with this storm as it approaches the north side of Joplin.
A wedge.
Yep. That whole thing's a tornado.
Indeed, there is a large tornado ongoing just up the road, hitting the town of Carl Junction, Missouri. Surveyed as an EF3 with 140 mile-per-hour winds and a path width of 440 yards.
My God. snow.
Ambulance is going west. It's going toward Carl Junction.
The scene around a tornadic supercell can sometimes be chaotic. Tornado sirens sounding, lightning flashing, and emergency vehicles, in this case heading off towards the town of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Joplin city limit. Give me your window just for the hell of it. Is it that?
Yeah, it's this area.
Oh my gosh. Oh, is that the back left side?
I need another lightning flash. Nice. I'm pulling over.
Yeah.
Right in front of this van.
That's good. Lightning flash right as the car goes by.
It's on the ground. I got it. I got it lightning.
Oh yeah, it's not the whole thing, but it's on the ground. You're right. Nice shot.
Let me see. Wow. Okay, well done.
This game, they were lucky.
Yeah.
But I don't know, have any other communities?
Aronica. Yeah, Carl Junction had some damage according to a spotter network report. Aronica was the tornado. It's a tornado emergency, Blake. I don't know if you saw.
No, didn't.
Yeah. I have no issue keeping going if you want to try. Worth a shot, right?
Yeah.
We're now making a decision that we're going to jump back in the car and keep going after this storm as it moves into what continues to be a volatile environment off to the northeast across southwest Missouri.
Does this look okay? Apparent tornado. Like I should say.
Yeah. That's good. Better than mine. Massive tornado north of Joplin. That's what I was freaking, man. We can still see the back left side of the area.
That was big.
That's good.
East or north? North. Yeah. For sure.
Nice driving today.
For most of this drive, there is another tornado on the ground right now, an EF0 that traveled 8 miles across parts of Jasper County, but we never really had a view of this tornado as we continued off to the south.
This will be it, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't push too tight because it might surge south as it comes down. That hook hasn't fully wrapped around you.
It's a decent point. And you're going to get a new area here. Tour. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is getting pretty tight here.
I'm still comfortable at the moment, but just for the sake of maybe just watching this.
Yeah, let's just watch it. Rapid rotation.
We caught back up to the storm on Interstate 49 heading northbound as we began to creep
Right
up
over
towards
the road.
the action area here with 2 different areas of strong rotation.
Can you go around these guys, actually?
They're up
I
there
know.
videoing. I don't want to do that to them.
I know, it's just, I think the
I'll just keep
interest
going. I'll keep going. I'll keep going.
is right there,
Yeah.
over the road. Yep, it's gonna be there.
The storm right now is about 10 miles off to the southwest of Golden City, Missouri.
But keep an eye out over here too.
For sure. I think that's RFD Scud.
Agreed.
Yeah,
but
I know.
If you saw on radar, you'd see that there's a new area getting ready to come around.
Okay.
This is the old area here.
I believe you.
So see, that's the old area there.
You're right.
And you're going to get a new updraft base that'll be over here in a minute.
Yeah.
That might be going. You see that?
As we began to creep north along Interstate 59, lightning flashes began to illuminate a suspicious area off to our east.
Yeah, tornado, listen, it's huge. Yeah, sliding. Massive.
With each lightning flash, it became increasingly clear that we had a monster tornado developing off to our east, approaching Golden City, Missouri. Here's the view off to the east.
Let's go.
I'm gonna get one more flash.
This large tornado was visible intermittently with lightning flashes, but I was having some bad luck capturing those with the camera.
Still really great velocity.
Yeah, it's hooking, so the RFD is pulling it back in toward the core. It's taking that left turn like you would have seen with El Reno. So hopefully nobody's left at it.
Oh, it just tightened up even on the last scan.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
It's probably peaking. How far left the road am I looking? That's a yeah, power
Right over
flash.
here.
100 miles an hour inbound on the back end.
Yeah, we're really close to the RFD. No, we're not. Never mind. Sorry. Wow, what a signature.
The classic supercell structure was there, though, even though we couldn't get a view of this large tornado that was ongoing approaching Golden City.
Yeah.
It's not, I didn't get
that was a
yes.
good flash. I didn't see anything.
I
I wasn't really looking in the right place.
Yeah, it's definitely still down. This
Yeah.
radar presentation says that.
I don't have any doubt. I just want to get a good shot of it.
Whoa. Damn.
See it?
No.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a perfect backlit lightning flash. There, it's big.
It's out of your
It's
window,
wedge.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Window all the way down if you can.
You're gonna get a view. I'm gonna take probably this next major north.
That's fine. Yeah, that sounds good.
That 37 there.
Yeah. It goes to Golden City?
Yeah. How new is that?
8:59, 4 minutes old.
Probably hitting Golden City right about now.
Yeah, it's 3 miles toward
Oh my God. Just classic cut structure back here.
It's kind of on the left side of the lower end down there.
Oh yeah, it's still there. Big cone, big cone right back here. We've gained a little east ground on it, so yeah, right there. It's wrapped, yeah, or partially wrapped. Yep, there it is. It's roping out. Yeah, it's elephant trunk now.
How far to the left?
11 o'clock.
Okay.
There.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see it. Yeah, still, yeah, definitely still there.
Yeah.
But roping. It's getting choked off.
At its widest, this tornado was a half-mile wide, producing EF3 damage just west of Golden City, Missouri. We missed much of the wide stage of this tornado, again being hidden by the rain, the rolling hills, and the trees, but we were treated to an extended rope out as this tornado narrowed into an elephant trunk shape just north of Golden City.
Golden City, Missouri is a ghost town right now. This tornado just passed just north of town. Looks like it is roping out now, but
I think it's still down.
yeah, I believe it's still down. The last time we saw it, it was still down.
I think I just saw it. Look here, you might have a... Yep, it's still down.
Wow. Well, oh my God, window. Sorry.
You're all right.
That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. There it is.
That's a great shot. It's still roping. It's still there.
It's like at a big angle, 45-degree angle, but it's still there.
North and east of Golden City, Missouri, our final navigational issue of the night approached. As we chased, a new supercell had developed directly behind our initial tornadic supercell, a trend that was common during the 2019 severe weather season. We were suddenly directly in the path of an intensifying supercell and needed to get out of the way. We didn't want to drop south out of the fear of the potential developing tornado with this second supercell, so we instead chose the northern route, going through the southern portion of the updraft region of this storm, taking some heavy rain, some small hail, and some gusty winds, lasting about 5 to 10 minutes before we were finally back on our way. Without smartphones and access to high-speed data and high-resolution radar activity, something like this would never be possible. But we're able to see that we're taking the worst of it right now in the form of some high winds and some heavy precipitation, but are well aware that the potential tornadic region of this storm is off to our south by several miles. Not an ideal situation, but one that I know we just need to wait out.
I mean, honestly, if we had a south option, we could, or you either punch through or you go south a little. I mean, we're probably in the worst of it, and maybe some winds on the backside. I don't know.
I have a south in half a mile.
Take that.
Well, it's maybe a little more.
You could casually drop south on it. Although I think that we're gonna get slammed. It's gonna be now. Not. We might get some strong northerlies on the backside. What's that? Well, driveway. Getting northerlies now. Yeah. We're gonna get strong northerlies probably for a minute.
1,500 feet to the south.
All right.
D is what I'm taking.
Okay. That might have been the worst of it.
Tornado-warned storms were now pushing into our home area of central Illinois, so once we get out of the core of this storm, we decided to pull off, unwind, take a few breaths, stretch our legs, enjoy the light show, and make sure everyone was safe back home before finding a hotel for the night back in Joplin, Missouri.
Just hanging out now, catching our breath. Checking in on strong storms back home.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep the whatever
bugs out.
Gigantic freak mosquitoes were trying to get into the trunk. Slash hordes of lightning bugs.
Go to the bathroom somewhere where you are filming.
Oh my god.
So how about that, Alex?
I don't know. I'm not like exactly sure. From the second we saw the tornado northwest of 69 in that town. What was that first town?
Miami, I think.
Yeah.
That's where the first tornado was.
Like, I don't know, I don't think I've breathed since that moment.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many separate tornadoes we just saw.
Well, one of them was down for a long time.
I like physically feel like I just ran a race.
Yep.
As we made our way back towards our hotel in Joplin, past the damage path in Golden City, where tragically 3 lives were lost. It was the first fatal tornado that I had ever experienced, and hopefully the last. You never really forget the sights and the sounds that accompany a strong tornado. The smell of fresh vegetation and trees that have been shredded, sounds of natural gas, the smell of natural gas in the air, the lightning illuminated trees that were shredded by the tornado. We eventually got into our hotel room shortly after midnight, but I don't think any of us slept until nearly 3 in the morning, letting our bodies kind of unwind and relax from the stress of the last several hours.